Today is the day that I have feared the most since starting this Promptober shenanigans. Because today is the day that Inktober gives us Rhinoceros. I never paid attention to the fact that it's rhinoceros, not rhinoceros. So I don't have a rhinoceros just laying around that I can pose and play around with. And I was considering just sculpting one, but I didn't really have the time today. This particular Monday started off very unexpectedly. We didn't expect to jump in the car and drive all around, but that's kind of what was demanded of us. So that was fun, but more importantly, it robbed of any sort of time that I could have had to actually try sculpting something. So I had to find a scapegoat. I had to find a way around this particular section of the prompt. So with Creeptober, we have under the bed. And while it doesn't really help our rhinoceros problem, it gives us a little context. So once upon a time, I had the idea of having like a Looney Tunes-esque kind of scene in which you have this bed that's just like cartoonishly like bowed outward. And then you just have this rhinoceros that's just chilling there with, our two little troublemakers just on the side. But in failing to get an actual rhinoceros, I had to do something a little different. So for this one, the easiest thing was to start with that which is most familiar, and that's under the bed. So I did look around to see if I can kind of cut corners on the bed, but turns out that a bed is really kind of easy to just block out. There's no real sculpting or geometry nodes or any sort of thing that really kind of goes into it. Plus, I'm covering it with a bed sheet anyway, so or with a blanket, so whatever. Then we have our two troublemakers just to kind of give ourselves like sense of scale and size. So the quicker that we get these two in here, the better. And then it just comes down to posing. So I had multiple different ideas as to what I wanted these guys to do. So it's like a sleepover maybe, and they're both kind of tired, or maybe one's really excited for, whatever's happening. Being under the bed kind of requires some context, I feel. So if it's like a pillow fort or something, like that's one instance in which, individuals might find themselves under the bed if they're hiding from something, maybe. But I've already had these two go through a bunch of like relatively traumatic events, so I felt like we needed kind of a more laid back, relaxed, a quiet moment sort of thing. So this is more in that pillow fort category, but I didn't really do pillow fort because that's not the prompt. It's under the bed. But I think we've done this before where, we just kind of have a little lamp and we make the bed itself like our little fortress, our little hideaway sort of thing. And so I just kind of start adding details, make sure that the light allows us to see stuff. That's kind of one of the biggest hurdles in doing these Promptober stuff is I choose to do things at night, and that really makes visibility hard. So this is my workaround for the rhinoceros, is to use a rhinoceros beetle.